You know, people say, "Oh, what's it like to work with Jim Cameron, Billy Friedkin, Michael Bay, Val Kilmer," and it's all, these guys are pussycats compared to what happened on this set.
Some actors are born to be stars. They possess captivating looks, outstanding talent, and appear at the right time when Hollywood is looking for a new face. But sometimes, even those who seem to have reached the pinnacle cannot control their destiny. Michael Biehn is one such case. In the 1980s, he appeared in some of the greatest science fiction films in cinematic history, worked with some of the best directors, and became a familiar face to millions of viewers worldwide. Yet, strangely, the man who fought the Terminator, confronted alien monsters, and was considered one of Hollywood's most promising actors, never truly became an A-list superstar, as many predicted. Michael Connell Biehn was born on July 31, 1956, in Anniston, Alabama. As a child, his family moved several times before settling in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. It was there that young Michael first discovered his passion for acting when he joined his high school's drama club. Small performances on the school stage quickly made him realize this wasn't just a fleeting hobby, but something he wanted to pursue for life. Michael's talent earned him a drama scholarship to the University of Arizona, but after only 2 years, the allure of Hollywood led him to abandon his studies to pursue his acting dreams. His early days in Los Angeles weren't easy. Like thousands of other young actors, Michael struggled to find opportunities. His first role in the 1978 film Grease was so small that it was almost forgotten. However, Michael didn't give up. He consistently appeared in low-budget television and film projects, quietly accumulating experience. The first turning point came in 1981, when he was cast in the lead role in the psychological drama The Fan. Although the film wasn't a box office hit, Michael's performance attracted the attention of critics. They saw in him a special energy, an actor capable of conveying rare intensity, emotion, and psychological depth. But the real life-changing opportunity for Michael Biehn came in 1984, when a young director named James Cameron was looking for actors for a low-budget science fiction film called The Terminator. Initially, Michael's audition was unsuccessful. He inadvertently carried a Southern accent from a previous stage role, which displeased the producers. Fortunately, he was given a second chance. This time, Michael completely won over the film crew and landed the role of Kyle Reese, a soldier from the future who travels back in time to protect Sarah Connor from the Terminator killer machine. No one expected that small film to become a global phenomenon. When The Terminator was released, audiences were not only captivated by Arnold Schwarzenegger, but also by Michael Biehn. He delivered a Kyle Reese who was both strong and vulnerable, a hero willing to sacrifice everything for love and hope. Overnight, Michael Biehn went from a relatively unknown actor to a promising new face in Hollywood, and the door to the biggest opportunities in his career finally opened before him. Following the resounding success of The Terminator, Michael Biehn entered a phase that any young actor would dream of. He had proven his acting abilities, appeared in a blockbuster film, and received attention from both audiences and critics. More importantly, he had earned the absolute trust of James Cameron, a director who was rapidly becoming a powerful name in Hollywood. When Cameron began working on Aliens, the sequel to the popular sci-fi horror film Alien, Michael believed this would be his chance to take his career to the next level. However, things didn't go as smoothly as he thought. Initially, Cameron chose another actor for the role of Corporal Hicks. Michael almost accepted losing this opportunity until an unexpected incident occurred, resulting in the role being given to him just days before filming began. Without the lengthy preparation time of the other actors, Michael immediately flew to England and threw himself into work. That decision changed his life a second time. In Aliens, Michael wasn't the central character, but he became the soul of the Marines fighting against the aliens. His Hicks wasn't the typical muscular hero who flaunted his strength. He presented the image of a calm, reliable soldier, willing to sacrifice himself to protect those around him. Audiences loved the character almost immediately. The pairing of Michael and lead actress Sigourney Weaver created one of the most beloved couples in science fiction. When Aliens became a box office phenomenon and received numerous Oscar nominations, critics began to see Michael Biehn as one of Hollywood's most promising actors. But it was at that moment that a subtle problem emerged. Hollywood began to see Michael in a very specific light. He became the strong, serious soldier ready to fight in action or science fiction films. That image was further solidified when he reunited with James Cameron for the third time in The Abyss in 1989. Once again, Michael played a soldier. Once again, he received widespread praise. And once again, he proved himself a brilliant actor. But instead of expanding his opportunities, success inadvertently trapped him in a box. Producers no longer saw Michael Biehn as a star capable of handling any genre of role. They only saw the soldier of James Cameron. That was the biggest paradox in Michael's career. He was so good at one type of role that Hollywood didn't want to give him anything else. While contemporaries like Bruce Willis and Harrison Ford gradually expanded their image to various genres, Michael remained tied to military and science fiction characters. Even years later, when James Cameron was developing Avatar, he considered casting Michael as the main villain. But ultimately, the idea was scrapped because Cameron worried audiences would remember Aliens instead of focusing on the new film. Another great opportunity slipped away. It's a shame Michael did everything right. He was hardworking, professional, and consistently delivered quality performances. But sometimes in Hollywood, doing well isn't enough. And his real challenges were only just beginning. By the mid-1990s, Michael Biehn was still a beloved name, but Hollywood had begun to change. New faces were constantly emerging. Studios were seeking younger stars, and action films were entering a new era. In 1996, Michael starred in The Rock, a blockbuster alongside Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage. The film was a huge commercial success, but Michael's role was relatively small. This was a clear sign that his standing in Hollywood had waned. The man who had once stood alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Terminator was now just a supporting character in films led by others. Unfortunately, Michael's career didn't collapse due to a lack of talent. On the contrary, he retained his strong acting ability and professionalism. However, in Hollywood, timing is sometimes just as important as ability. Big roles gradually disappeared, and high-budget projects no longer came his way as frequently as before. While many actors are willing to sacrifice everything to maintain their fame, Michael made a different choice. He wanted to spend time with his family. Many attractive opportunities were turned down simply because they required him to be away from home for too long. It was a decision he never regretted, but also a decision that prevented his career from soaring as expected. At the same time, Michael faced personal battles that the public was largely unaware of. Throughout the 1990s, he struggled with alcoholism. The pressure of work, missed opportunities, and the feeling of watching his career slip away plunged him into a difficult period. Addiction not only affected his health, but also impacted his relationships and reputation in the entertainment industry. When Hollywood evaluates an actor, they look not only at talent, but also at reliability. And in that fiercely competitive environment, any sign of instability could cause opportunities to vanish. The challenges didn't stop there. Entering the 2000s, Michael continued to battle serious health problems. He suffered a stroke and subsequently underwent open-heart surgery. For anyone, those would be major setbacks. But for an action actor once famous for his powerful on-screen persona, those events were even more devastating. His prolonged recovery period nearly sidelined him from major projects. While Hollywood continued to move forward, Michael had to focus on maintaining his health and rebuilding his life. From the late 1990s to the 2000s, he primarily appeared in low-budget films, direct-to-DVD releases, and a few television series that didn't achieve the expected success. This wasn't the life people had imagined for the star of The Terminator or Aliens. But what's admirable is that Michael never gave up. Even as his fame faded, even as Hollywood seemed to forget him, he continued to work, continued to act, and continued to fight. And it was this spirit that paved the way for a completely new chapter in Michael Biehn's life, when he decided to stop waiting for opportunities from Hollywood and create his own. In many ways, Michael Biehn was a victim of his own success. The roles that made him famous also limited how Hollywood saw him. Opportunities came and went, personal struggles tested him, and the superstardom many predicted never fully arrived. Yet, despite everything, he never disappeared from the hearts of movie fans. Today, when people revisit the greatest science fiction films of the 1980s, Michael Biehn's presence is impossible to ignore. He wasn't just part of those classics. He helped make them unforgettable. And perhaps that is the real ending to his story. Not the tale of a star who fell short of greatness, but of an actor whose work outlived the fame itself. Long after the headlines faded, the characters he brought to life continued to inspire audiences around the world, ensuring that his legacy remains stronger than ever.